Hi there, my name is Adolfo Perez and I'm the Senior Vice President of Global Sales and Trade Marketing for Carnival Cruise Line. I started my career really young. I was actually 16 years old. I was a junior in high school, and I first got to work at the Port of Miami doing check-in for the pier. That was my very first job at Carnival, and I loved it. I loved all the people I met. I loved learning about the ships. I loved watching the ships sail away when they pulled the ropes off the ship. It was just such an exciting time as I was growing up. And then that was back in 1982. Then in 1984, I got the opportunity to work as a reservations agent. So I worked in the office handling reservations calls from our travel agent partners from all over the country. And that was a lot of fun too, because I really liked to sell. I liked to help people, and I loved computers, and everything was done on our reservation system. So I really enjoyed that job as well. And then over the years, I got the opportunity to try different things in the reservations department. I was a sailing coordinator in the reservations administration department, which basically meant I tidied up the ship to make sure everything was in place so that the ship could sail the following weekend. All the stuff that would happen in the office, dining requests, cabin assignments, all that kind of cool stuff. And then I became a reservation supervisor, and eventually in 1991, I got promoted to director of reservations, and I got to run the reservations department. And I'll tell you, when I started that job, there were about 80 people in reservations at Carnival. And then when I finally finished doing that job, 20 years later, I had gotten promoted along the way to Vice President of Reservation Sales. I had a department of over 1,500 employees across 3 different states in different call centers. And that was just an amazing job as well. And then I thought it was about time for a change after 20 years of running the call center. And I got this amazing opportunity of getting to work in our London office. I moved to London. I signed up for a 2-year contract to work in London to help set up our own sales and marketing department there. And what I'll tell you is that I had no idea of what I was doing, because basically I had been running the call center for so long. I had never done a lot of the things that I was going to be expected to do in London. And one of the things that I learned during that process is that sometimes you got to really push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I could have continued doing the job I was doing. I could do it with my eyes shut, with my arms tied behind my back. But I'll tell you that having this opportunity pop up, I made myself make a decision rather quickly, because I knew I could easily talk myself out of moving out of Miami, the place I had lived in my entire life, to a new country, doing a completely new job that I didn't know exactly how to do. So it took a lot for me to do it, but I decided rather quickly, and moved to London back in 2011 and got to live there for 2 years. And I have to tell you, that was one of the most exciting times of my career at Carnival. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about my business. I learned how to do new things. I got the opportunity to shoot television commercials. I had never even come across anything like that before. Worked on partnership contracts with travel agents, with PR agencies, and it really did teach me that you really have to push yourself in order to grow. So I did that for 2 years, came back to Miami back in 2013. I worked in our marketing department, got a new job there as well, did that for about 1.5 years. And then I moved into the position of Vice President of Sales and Trade Marketing back in 2015. And then did that for a while, and I also got additional responsibility about 1 year ago, and I took on our Australia office. So I had all of our international sales plus our Australia office, and at that time I was promoted to Senior Vice President of Global Sales and Trade Marketing. So I've done a lot at Carnival. I've gotten the opportunity to experience things, and I'll tell you that, like I said before, the biggest lesson I learned is that you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone in order to grow in business and in life. So I thought that was a really great experience that I've had over the last almost 39 years. So one of the things I wish that I could do today is kind of walk you in, or let you shadow me throughout my day. But since COVID-19 back in March, I've been working from home. It's hard to really show you all the things that go on, during a normal business day at work, considering that we're all working from home right now. But I can kind of walk you through the things that we do, some of the things that I think are important. One of the very important things that we do is, obviously, I have team meetings every week with the various team members. What we do is we do a lot of planning, things that we want to accomplish. We do either things that we're working on right on the spot that we need to get resolved or get done, or we're strategizing and thinking about the things that we want to do, down the road. And those things take a lot of planning. And I'll tell you, I'd be lying to you if I said I come up with every idea, I'm the one that does everything. That would be a lie. Because one of the things that I've learned in business in the many, many years that I've been in business is that your team members are more important than you are. And having great team members on your team really make a big difference, because I can't come up with all the ideas, I can't refine all the ideas, and I certainly can't execute all the ideas. So it is a big collaboration that we have amongst all the various team members, whether it be other directors or other team members. Everybody has a part in executing everything that we decide that we think is important to do. So we spend a lot of time in meetings. We spend a lot of times, now we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. Typically we would do in-person meetings. But that is certainly a big part of what it's like to be in my shoes in a given day. One of the things that was invented post me starting at Carnival, many years after, because for the longest time we didn't have email, because I've been there since 1982, pre-email. Well, today I get a ton of emails every single day. And it definitely takes up a lot of my time. Sometimes I think it's too much time. I think, why doesn't somebody just pick up the phone and ask me a question rather than fill up my inbox? But it's part of living in today. You guys have probably not lived during a time when there was no email. The other thing that I do that I love about my job that unfortunately during COVID has been kind of put to a halt has been the opportunity to travel and visit our travel agency partners in all over the world. So because I have international sales, I not only get to go to a bunch of great states in the United States, I get to go to Canada, I get to go to London, to Australia, to Israel, to Spain, Italy, Australia, South America, Argentina, Mexico. And it really is a part of the job that is great, because you get to actually meet face-to-face with the people that are helping support your business. And there's nothing like a face-to-face meeting. Even with Zoom, even with phone calls, there's nothing like a personal human connection. And I really do miss that. But it's something that I do a lot. I probably travel, I'm gonna guess, maybe 40% of the year, if we were to add it all up. Although I used to complain sometimes, oh my God, I'm getting on another airplane. Today I'm complaining that I don't get to get on an airplane. But that's a big part of my job, is getting out and meeting our travel agent partners, their headquarter offices, meeting their agents. A lot of these big agencies put on conferences that we attend. I get the opportunity to speak to everybody. Sometimes there's more than 3,000 people in the audience of their travel agents, I get the opportunity to connect with them. And obviously, like I said, the human connection is really important when you're trying to develop a relationship, an engaging relationship with a travel agent partner that you are hoping will support you in your business. We also work on budgets. You've probably heard of budgets. Budgets are very important to a business. So every year we go through a process that takes months to do to create the budget for the following year. Once that budget's created, it's my job and my team's job to make sure we stick to the budget. So I'm not allowed to spend more money than I want to. So we think about things like, advertising, conference attendance, travel, entertainment. We just, imagine every expense that you would have, you have to have control of, and you have to measure and make sure that you're not going over. Now, if you do go over, sometimes that does happen. But you always have to provide a business justification for those kinds of things. And that's a big part of my job and my team's job, to make sure that we stick to the things that we say we're going to do and the money that we're going to spend. The other part is, that I miss too right now is, even working with other departments, meeting with our ship operations team. If we have a big group that's going on a cruise, for example, we have to speak with the entertainment department, the department that schedules public spaces on the ship, because sometimes these groups require meeting space and those kinds of things. And it's great to get to learn about that part of the company as well. So working with entertainment, with bar, with dining, with venues, and obviously the cabin stewards, it really is amazing. And then I guess one of the most great, one of the greatest part is when I get to go on a cruise and host travel agents on board. We do that, quite a bit, and I get the opportunity to engage and spend time with our travel agent partners and also give them the opportunity to sample our product, because ultimately, the more experience they have, the better they're going to be able to sell our product. And being on board really gives us that opportunity to shine for them so that they feel confident selling Carnival. So how do you get in the cruise industry? Well, I think that you're really fortunate that you're living during a time where it's so easy to find out all the different opportunities that are available to you. Every cruise line has a website. Every cruise line on their website has a careers section. Carnival.com has one as well. And it's important that you seek out the things that you want to do. So if you go to a website like Carnival.com, check out the careers section. It lists out all the different positions that are available. So whatever it is that you're interested in, you can pretty much be sure that a cruise line offers that. So whether it's sales, whether it's accounting, whether it's reservations, whether it's entertainment, food and bar, dining, new shipbuilding, engineering, marine operations, financial analysis, budgeting. I mean, there is literally every kind of job you can pretty much imagine at a cruise line. And we are fortunate that we have a great system that shows you everything that's available for employment. So obviously my biggest piece of advice is to check out the websites at Carnival.com and check out the Fun Careers section, because it really is the place to see where anything that you want to be, pretty much you can find. And I'll give you some advice. There's some things that I think are really important in business. It obviously depends on which direction you're leaning, but what I found one of the most important things about business is communication. Whether when you're speaking to somebody, whether you're getting up in front of 3,000 people and giving a presentation, or you're sending an email or writing a report to justify some money that you need to spend on a project, or understanding the finances and how do we come up with the budget, and if you do go over, how do you justify that you spent more money than you were supposed to, and what kind of return did you get on that investment. So I would say that again, communication, learning how to write, learning how to communicate verbally, out loud in front of people. Nobody loves public speaking. Well, I take that back. Probably some people love it. Most people have a bit of a fear about it. And what I suggest is that you push yourself to do those things, because the more you do it, the less scary it becomes and the better you become at it. I can remember the very first time I had to do a public speaking event outside of Carnival at some conference that I went to. And I remember arriving at the hotel and being terrified. And when I got to the room, I put my bags down and I said, I'm just going to call them and I'm going to cancel. I'm going to say I'm sick and I'm flying back home. Fortunately, I never did that. And what I realized is that, at the end of the day, I know what I'm talking about. They don't know if I made a mistake, and they're no more important than I am. So I kind of convinced myself to do it. And I've grown from, speaking to, groups of 10 or 15 people to literally groups of thousands of people, and it feels no different anymore. So I would say that that's one of the key things for business that's important, is communication. And definitely math and budgeting and spreadsheets and learning how to control budgets and understanding the way numbers work. Very important in business. Again, if you want to do something like entertainment, those things may not be the things that you have to do. But If you want to do managerial type work, if you want to be on a leadership team, if you want to run a department, or even, become somebody who eventually will do that, it's important to keep those things in mind.